Hello, Yoga Breeze community. Thank you for checking back in for another yoga session. I wanted to share a quote with you this morning to kind of set our intention for our class. It's a Zen quote, and it says, "The heart collects a lot of feelings: sadness, happiness, worry, jealousy, pain, love, fear, excitement. When you keep an open heart, all of these things are able to come and go. Nothing will be trapped inside." So this has been an exceptionally powerful quote for me over the last several weeks. I have a quick story to share with you. My little one, my daughter, was doing art in her bedroom, and I was doing a home practice, so I wasn't paying attention. I had my earbuds in, not really listening, and I saw her out of the corner of my eye go into the kitchen and grab some glue sticks, which is no big deal because she likes to cut out pictures and, make collages essentially. And fast forward a couple hours later, we're sitting down, all of us eating dinner and talking about, what we liked best about the day. And she said, "Well, I really had fun doing my art in my room. I ran out of tape to hang up my pictures on my walls." And I said, "Oh, well, what did you use then?" And she said, "Glue sticks." So she took our purple glue sticks and hung up probably about 60 papers on her wall, purple glue sticks on her textured wall. So immediately I just felt hot and my face got red. I started to sweat. My stomach was just a mess, jaw clenched, shoulders hunched, because I knew that the rest of my evening was going to involve figuring out how to get glue stick off a pink textured wall. And my husband said, "She didn't do it on purpose. You shouldn't be angry." And I said to him, I am allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to be frustrated right by this. It doesn't mean that she did it on purpose. I understand she didn't, but I still have these emotions, and there's nothing wrong with those emotions. But as I went into her bedroom, what I started to notice was the story, the thought process, the keeping alive of the frustration and the anger. And so there's a technique that we can use when we're experiencing those feelings. Again, perfectly normal, perfectly acceptable, and we need to have them. But rather than getting caught up in a story and thought, we focus on sensation in the body. Where are we feeling those emotions manifest? And we breathe as we notice those feelings and we notice those sensations. And if we're really conscious and aware, after a little bit of time, we'll start to feel those sensations dissipate. Because ultimately, what's underlying anger or frustration is something else. And the time to investigate that is not usually in the midst of those very, very strong emotions. So today, as you move through your practice, I'll invite you to notice when we start to feel some different emotions and see if we can just be aware of the shifting and the changing of all the emotions, the ones that we would welcome with an open heart and those that we wish did not invade our experience whatsoever. So as we move through our practice today, a couple things will be helpful for you. If you have a strap or a scarf at home, you can use that because we'll be getting into the hamstrings a bit. If you have a couple blocks, those are also helpful. And then, of course, a blanket to support the body as well. We're going to start all the way down onto our backs. And as we come down onto our backs, let's have a strap and a block, if you have them, handy off to one side. The other block can be up towards the top of your mat. And we'll just come down onto our backs, finding a comfortable way to be. Most optimal will be legs extended long, but if that does not work for your body, the knees can be bent and drop in. Hand on the belly or on the heart or down by the sides. If it's okay for the shoulders, even up overhead. Just find a comfortable way to be and let the eyes softly close. And then as we start our practice, begin to drop in to the movement of the breath. As you inhale, feel the belly rise, the ribs, and the chest. Feel that brief pause at the top of the inhale, and then feel the chest, the ribs, the belly fall. Brief pause at the bottom. And connect to this movement, this stillness spaces within the breath. And as we connect to the movement and the stillness of the breath, begin to notice thoughts and story settle into the background of the mind. We may be able to access some kind of emotion that we're feeling right now. And if it's very, very strong, then you might feel some physical sensations within the body. And rather than trying to get them to leave or justify them away, allow yourself to feel the sensation and yet simultaneously keep attention on the breath. And let's take 3 more long, smooth inhales and exhales. After your third, your final breath out, let's meet with feet planted flat on the floor. If you have anything underneath the head, we'll go ahead and move it out from underneath the body. Then draw the knees in, wrap the arms around the shins, give yourself a hug, maybe some motion, some movement around the low back, just releasing any tension that you might find here. Release the left foot to the floor, draw the right knee and give it a little tug. And then just take a few hip circles, moving the knee clockwise and counterclockwise. And then we'll meet with the knee drawing into the chest. Here's where you can find your strap. We'll unwind it. If you have it, loop it just below the ball of the foot and extend the right foot high towards the ceiling. Hands just slide down the strap, shoulders are soft. Press out through the heel, through the ball of the foot. If you don't have a strap handy, just hands interlace behind the right thigh works as well. If you have some low back stuff going on, left foot can stay planted on the mat to support the back. If it feels okay in the body, left leg will extend long, and it too will be engaged out through the heel, through the ball of the foot. And then as we inhale, we feel length from sit bone to heel. As you exhale, notice where you can soften, notice where you can release. And just take a quick scan of the side body. For some of us, we feel a little hiking up of the right hip. We want to externally rotate outer right hip forward and down. Feel the shoulders soft. If this is a non-event in your body, you can begin to draw the thigh in a little closer to the rib cage. And then we'll take 3 more inhales and 3 more exhales. And especially if we start to notice sensation other than the back of the leg, more emotion related. Again, we start to breathe into those spaces, recognizing and noticing. 1 more breath in. As you breathe out, draw the belly to the spine, lift the shoulders, lift the head. Hands can stay on the strap or we'll reach them forward towards the front of the room. Shoulders are soft, palms are lifted towards the ceiling, pinky fingers up, thumbs out. This is perfect. We stay here or we float the left foot off of the mat. And then as we inhale, we still reach through the heel, through the ball of the foot, back through the crown of the head. As you exhale, soften the shoulders, belly to spine. Let's take 1 more breath in, lift to our highest height. And then as you exhale, slowly release the foot, the shoulders, and the head. We can bend into the right knee to release the strap. Hands down by the sides or even underneath the pelvis. If the low back is a little cranky, take a breath in. And as you breathe out the length of the exhale, right heel reaches forward and down. Then once the right foot meets the left, as you inhale, extend both arms overhead, full body stretch, reach the toes and fingertips away from one another. And then as you exhale, bend back into the knees, draw them into the chest, a quick hug, and some motion around the back body. We'll take that on the second side. Right foot will come to the floor, give the left knee a gentle tug, and then some hip circles. Just finding some motion in the hip joint. Going both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. And then meeting with the knee back in towards the heart once again. Strap just below the ball of the foot or hand to the back of the thigh. We press out through the heel, through the ball of the foot. The back of the leg lengthens. Again, if you have the strap, shoulders can soften. Otherwise, this is perfect as well. Stay here, or we can extend the right leg long along the mat, just making sure that's okay in the low back body. Any pinching will bend back into the right knee. And then we'll hold here and breathe. Each inhale, reaching through the heel, through the ball of the foot. Again, conscious to feel if we have a hiking up of that outer left hip, we rotate it forward and down. Shoulders are soft, breath is full. And then just when we start to get comfortable, if we start to get comfortable, we can begin to draw the thigh in a little closer to the body. Arms can walk up the back of the leg. And then we'll take one more breath in. As you breathe out, lift the shoulders, lift the head, bringing the torso up, all four sides, the neck stay long. Stay here or reach the arms forward. Palms are lifted, but shoulders are soft. We stay in this shape, right knee bent or foot resting, or we can elevate the foot off the mat. And then it's a reach through the heel, through the balls of the feet. Belly stays strong, heart lifted, neck long. And then again, as heat intensity within the shape begins to build, notice if that sparks heat or intensity in emotion. And rather than trying to move away, justify it away, aware of the sensation physically in the body and the breath. One more inhale as we lift to the highest height. As you exhale, shoulders, head, heel, release back down. Hands by the sides under the pelvis or even overhead. We take a breath in. And as we breathe out, left heel reaches forward and down. Once left foot meets the right, inhale, stretch fingers to toes. And then as you exhale, we'll bend back into both knees. A quick hug. A little bit of a release from side to side. And one more experience on the back. We'll just move the strap out of the way. We'll take our block. Take it at the narrowest width if you have it between the thighs. Flex into the feet so you can see the toes just above the knees. And then the knees are just above the hips. Arms move out to the side, shoulder height, palms face up. Feel both blades planted on the mat. We start here with a breath in. As you breathe out, take both knees over to the left. We're going to move to a spot where we can hover with right shoulder pressing. Take a breath in, belly to spine. As you exhale, draw the knees back up through center. A breath in at center, we check the feet, we check the knees, the block. And then as you exhale, knees move over to the right. Only to the degree that we can keep the left shoulder planted, we breathe in and exhale, draw the knees right back up through center. So we'll take that 2 more times to the left and to the right, moving on your exhale. We'll start together with a breath in. And as you breathe out, knees move over to the left. Again, right shoulder stays planted, legs are engaged. Inhale and exhale back up through center. Breath in at center. Exhale, knees over to the right. Breath in and breath out back through center. Finishing the last round. As we come back up through center, take an inhale. As you exhale, release the knees all the way over to the left. The block between the knees is helpful to keep that right shoulder planted. If that doesn't work for the body, block underneath the knees or moving it out from underneath and away in general. Then left hand can rest on knee or thigh, maybe belly or even heart space. Let the head turn, let the eyes softly close. And taking a gentle sigh, always an option, inhaling and opening the mouth. Settling back to the movement of the breath if we lost it. And then if we adjusted the block from between the knees, let's just take it there so we have it just in case on the second side. Draw the knees back up towards center, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, release the knees all the way over to the right. Again, adjusting the block so it's in the most comfortable space for your body. Then right hand rests, head turns, and the eyes close. As we let the knees and the legs get heavy over to the right, feel the left shoulder, left rib cage get heavy. And then from here, let's go ahead and release the block. Roll all the way over to the right side. Gently press ourselves up and around. So we'll take both blocks to the top of the mat just so we have them handy. We'll be on our knees for a little bit of time. So if you have sensitivity in the knees, let's take a blanket across the center of the mat. And then we'll come forward to a tabletop position. We'll find wrists under shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tops of the feet pressed, the belly is strong. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling, sits bones lift, belly drops, heart glides, crown lifts. And exhale, we tuck the tail, round into the spine, really press the earth away. Each time we inhale, sits bones lift, belly drops, heart glides, crown lifts. And each time we exhale, tuck the tail, round into the spine and press the earth away. Continue with 3 more rounds, moving with your inhale to feel a stretch through the front of the body, and moving with your exhale to feel a stretch through the back. Noticing on both inhale and exhale, the shoulders are away from the ears. The belly is strong. Movement starts and ends in the pelvis. After your final round, we'll meet back in a neutral spine, our tabletop position. From here, as the hands press down, feel the back of the heart lift, space between the shoulder blades, moving up towards the ceiling. The belly is strong. From here, we'll extend the right leg back behind, tuck the toes under, press through the heel, feel the leg engage, and notice if the left hip comes forward, gently draw it back. Keeping the belly strong, as you inhale, we'll float the right foot up towards hip height. And then as you exhale, slowly let the foot come to the floor. Just tap it. As you inhale, we slowly lift it. And then as you exhale, gently release back down. As we take that movement, we want to just make sure that the toes are pointing down and slightly in. So the outer right hip drops down, inner thigh is lifting up. We continue to pull the left hip back, keep the belly strong, both elbows stay straight. We'll take 1 more round. As you inhale, we'll float right foot up, outer hip down, feel the left hip draw back, stay here, or as you inhale, extend and reach the left arm forward. As we reach the left arm forward, we move so the bicep moves towards in line with the ear. Draw the shoulder away from the ear with the pinky finger lifted, thumb out. Right arm, left shin firmly pressing. Let's take a breath in. As you breathe out, bend into the right knee, sweep the left hand back behind. Maybe there's a hand to foot connection or the hand can rest on the sacrum. If we have the connection, draw the knee to the midline and then kick the foot back. Heart comes forward. We'll take an inhale, lift up through the thigh. As you exhale, gently release the bind. Inhale forward through the hand, back through the heel, and 1 time, elbow and knee will meet underneath the body. Woo. Inhale, forward through the hand, back through the heel. As you exhale, hand and knee meet. Let's bring big toes together, separate the knees wide. Press the hips back towards the heels for child's pose, or come to seated on heels or blocks. Let the hands rest, palms face up, and the eyes will softly close. Just take a couple breaths in and out, using this time to become aware of what's circulating in the mind and the body without judging and without trying to fix. Those of us folded forward in child's pose, we'll slowly make our way back up to seated on the heels. And then on the exhale, let the eyes softly open. Once again, we'll come back to our table shape. Wrists under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Belly is strong, back of the heart lifts. And then left leg extends back behind. Press out through the heel, through the ball of the foot. Feel the outer left hip drop down. Feel the right hip pull back. As you inhale, feel the left foot float off of the mat. As you exhale, feel the toes release and tap to the earth. Then as you inhale, foot lifts, conscious to see if we're opening the hip too much. Toes down slightly in, and exhale, soften. We'll continue inhaling to lift and exhaling to tap. Arms are strong and straight. Heart is sliding forward. Belly is engaged. And breath is moving. As we finish this final round, as you inhale, left foot floats, quick peek at the foot. Stay here or reach the right arm forward. Bicep moving in line with the ear, left hand plants, right leg plants. We lift away from the earth as we breathe in. As you breathe out, bend into the left heel, sweep the right hand back behind, maybe hand to foot connection, maybe to the sacrum. Draw the knee to the midline, pull the right hip back, and then a gentle kick as we inhale. Exhale, we'll release the bind. Inhale, breath in, forward and back. And exhale, elbow and knee meet underneath the body. As you inhale, extend forward through the hand, back through the heel. And as you exhale, release the hand, release the knee to the mat. Big toes together, knees wide, hips to heels. Crawling the hands forward or reaching the hands back. Forehead releases to the mat. Maybe a block under ribs or forehead to support the torso. Again, seated upright, always an option. So let's come back up to our tabletop position. You're welcome to keep the blanket on the mat for the knees, or you can move it off to the side. We're going to tuck our toes under, press back through the heels, sits bones back towards the heels. We'll begin a slow rise into downward facing dog. If the heels coming to the mat shifts the shoulders forward, then put a deep bend into the knees, draw the belly and the chest back towards the thighs. Press down and forward into the hands. Feel the outer upper arms spin down and in. Feel the upper inner arms lift up towards the ceiling. So another way to say that, biceps are high, triceps are low. Feel the forearms press. And then if we can keep the shape in the upper body, let's go ahead and begin to soften the heels towards the mat. We'll take a few rounds of walking our dog, bending into the left knee, release the right heel to the mat. Then we switch. Bend into the right knee, release the left heel to the mat. And we switch on the inhale. Use the exhale to release the heel. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, soften. Let's do one more round. Feeling the arms strong, belly and chest back towards the thighs, shoulders away from the ears. And then we'll come back to this neutral space. So from here, looking back between the feet, make sure that they're about a fist width distance apart. The belly is strong, the neck is long. Keep the left foot on the mat, and as you inhale, we'll reach the right leg up and back behind. As we reach the right leg high,
Notice if the hip starts to open, toes are down and slightly in. Both arms strong, pressing down and forward. And then on your exhale, slowly release the right foot just to tap down next to the left. As you inhale, right foot will go high. And as you exhale, we'll slowly release back down. 2 more times. Inhaling to lift and exhaling to release back down. Last time, inhale, lift, and exhale, release back down. So we can hold here in down dog for 3 breaths, or release the knees to the mat, give the shoulders, give the arms a break. Your resting pose perfect. Again, aware of emotion. Starts to circulate rather than thinking, I shouldn't feel that way. Let's get out of that mindset. Notice where that emotion manifests in the body. Bring attention to breath and just watch as sensation begins to dissipate. If you came to the knees in child's pose, tuck the toes under, sits bones to heels, a slow rise back into down dog. Again, feet are about a fist width distance apart, so right foot will stay down this time, and as you inhale, left leg reaches high. As you exhale, left foot moves to tap next to the right. As you inhale, left foot goes high. And as you exhale, moves to tap. We move nice and slow so we can keep drawing the outer right hip back, outer left hip down. Both arms are straight and strong, and belly and chest back towards the thighs. Let's take 1 more round. Inhale to lift. And exhale to release. Take 1 breath in down dog. And then as you exhale, bend into the knees. Release them to the mat. Resting in child's pose, or again seated on the heels. Let's let the hands rest, palms face up. And whether we're in Balasana or we're in Vajrasana, relax the shoulders. Let the neck be long. Let's take a gentle breath in. Open the mouth and a quick check-in to see if we're locked in story. Can we allow whatever emotion comes up to be present? Allowing for sensation in the body. And instead consciously choosing to bring attention to breath. So those of us folded forward in child's pose will slowly begin to make our way to seated on the heels. And then on your exhale, allow the eyes to softly open. So from here, we'll take our 2 blocks, if you have them at their highest height, about body distance apart. As we come up onto the knees, the hands will rest on the blocks. We'll step the right foot forward, toes in line with fingers, and tuck the left toes under. As we press through the heel, through the ball of the foot, we want to feel the right hip draw back, left hip forward, power through the back of the leg. The belly is strong. And then from here, we'll come up onto finger pads, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Option to stay right here, or we'll reach the hands back behind, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And as we hold here, we feel right big toe mound and heel pressing into the earth. Feel the right femur draw back, let the left hip come forward. Feel the back of the thigh lift and draw the sternum, the crown of the head, forward towards the front of the room. Again, hands on the blocks are perfect. We just draw the shoulders away from the ears, or we add intensity, reaching the hands back behind. We hold here for 3 full inhales and exhales. An opportunity to see as physical engagement increases, heat increases in the physical body, what kind of emotions begin to arise as well. We'll take a full breath in to reach, full breath out. 1 more inhale. This time as you inhale, let's reach the arms forward and up. We'll come into a full crescent pose. Hands at the heart or hands at the thigh, always an option. Or our full expression of the pose will be arms high, pinky fingers in, thumbs out, shoulders soft. Bellies engaged, low ribs draw in. And as we sink low into the front knee, we just watch it, not passing the ankle. Right hip back, left hip forward, lifting through the back of the kneecap. And we breathe joyfully. And maybe not joyfully, and that's okay as well. Notice where there are tight spaces that there don't need to be. Consciously relax. Jaw, muscles of the face. One more full breath in. And as you breathe out, hands will come back down onto the blocks. Once the hands are on the blocks, wiggle the left knee back, descend it to the earth. And then we'll walk the blocks back, straightening into the right leg. Pull the toes off the floor. And if the hips come pretty far back, slide the right heel forward. Want hips to be just above the knee. Take a breath in, staying here, or begin to fold over the front thigh. If there's a lot of space in your body, we can release the blocks and the hands come to the mat. Think about sternum drawing towards the toes, belly button towards the knees. And then the neck is long. And hold here for 5 long inhales and exhales. After your 5th, your final exhale, use your inhale to bring the gaze forward. Exhale, we'll bend back into the knee, step right knee back to meet the left, and then come back to seated on the heels. Hands, palms face up, seated on the block, always perfect. Let the eyes softly close. And while we take a rest between sides, let's take some neck circles. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, drop the chin towards the chest. As you inhale, left ear will move towards the left shoulder. And as we pause here, just play around with the tilt of the chin. Maybe closer towards the collarbone or closer towards the ceiling. Just notice, where do we get into the most sensation in the right side of the neck? Shoulders are soft, heart is lifting to meet the chin, and left shoulder is pulling down away, as is the right. We'll take one more breath into the right side of the neck. As you exhale, come back through center. Take a breath in at center. And as you exhale, roll right ear towards right shoulder. And again, play around with the tilt of the neck. Just seeing where is the best space to get the greatest stretch, most appropriate stretch on the left side. Shoulders soften, heart lifts. And then breathe. One more breath in. As you breathe out, chin comes back through center, and then as you inhale, the head lifts. As you exhale, we'll come back forward, hands on the blocks, and we'll take that series on the second side. Step the left foot forward, toes in line with fingers, left knee over the ankle. Tuck the right toes under, press through the heel, and we find a runner's lunge. Right here we get our base solid, so if we're a little wobbly on the base, we can walk the right foot to the side or the left foot to the side. Down and forward into left big toe and heel. Feel the left hip draw back, right hip forward. Belly is strong, and then up onto finger pads we go to make a little more space. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Stay right here. This is perfect. Or we reach the arms back behind. And as we reach the arms back behind there, engage, squeezing triceps together. You're welcome on this side to take a bind just to stretch. Feel the sternum, crown of the head reach. But let's release the hands to keep the palms towards the earth, sides equal. As we bend deeply into the front knee, power back through the heel, left hip back, right hip forward. And again, neck is long. Our breath is nice and smooth. And as the body starts to shake, maybe yours isn't, mine is, can we breathe into the discomfort that brings up physically, mentally, and emotionally? And take one more round of breath in this shape, inhaling, reaching, exhale, engaging the belly. Then as you inhale, arms reach forward and up, Anjaneyasana A. Again, hands at the heart, hands on the thigh, perfect. Or arms reaching high, pinky fingers in, thumbs out. Left hip back, right hip forward, power through the heel, feel the back of the right knee lift. Left toes are light. Let's take one more breath in to reach. And then as you exhale, hands will find the blocks. Wiggle the right foot back and descend the right knee down to the earth. Walk the blocks back as we shift the hips back, straightening into the left leg again, sliding the heel forward perhaps, but then pulling back on the toes as we press the heel away. Taking an inhale, we stay upright, or exhale, we can begin to fold hands on the blocks or on the floor. We want to think about the spine being long, sternum reaching towards the toes, belly button towards the knee. And then if we have the space, elbows can bend. Notice if that left hip is sneaking up, we draw outer hip down. Let's take 2 more inhales and exhales. Then as you take your next breath in, the gaze comes forward, hands back on the blocks for support, bend into the left knee and slide it back to meet the right. This time, let's go ahead, keep our blocks at the top of our mat. If you still have your blanket, let's move it off to the side. Come into our tabletop position, wrists under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Tuck the toes under, hips back towards the heels, a slow rise into downward facing dog. Then from our down dog, as you inhale, gaze comes forward. And as you exhale, feet begin to move forward to the top of the mat. Let's just take a moment in a forward fold. Hands to opposite elbows, perfect. We'd like a little more engagement. Fingers to big toes. We just think about drawing the rib cage down, crown down in either case. Deep bend into the knees so we can keep the spine long. Or again, if we have the space, the legs can straighten a little or a lot. In whatever version we're in, let's release the bind. Put a solid bend into the knees, belly is strong. And then as you inhale, roll up the spine, hands walking up the legs, always an option. And then once we come up, head above the shoulders, inhale, shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, release back behind and down. Inhaling, shoulders go high. Exhale, release back behind and down. One more time, we'll inhale, shoulders up, and exhale, release back behind and down. All right, so we're going to use our blocks for this next shape. We'll move them forward about shoulder distance apart. And as we step back from our blocks, about 12 to 18 inches. Those of us that are taller will take the higher or the longer distance. Then feet are about a fist width distance apart. Softness in the knees so the belly can stay strong. Bring the hands to the hips. As we take an inhale, we'll lift the sternum. And as you exhale, we begin to hinge forward. As the torso comes halfway down, we'll release the hands onto the blocks. Then we shift the weight slightly forward so we're feeling pressure equally front and back of the foot. And we notice that the wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Left foot is going to stay where it is. As you inhale, reach the right leg back behind. A quick peek at the foot. Heel doesn't need to come any higher than the hip. You can put a softness into the left knee and draw the heart forward. Power back through the heel. Can stay right here. This is perfect in a standing L, supported warrior 3, or we come up onto finger pads. Stay right here or reach the left arm forward. We'll remember this from being on our knees. So we reach left arm forward, power back through the heel, and then as you exhale, maybe release the left hand down to the block. We can take the right arm forward, a little bit different. Notice if that left hip comes forward, really draw it back, outer right hip down. Breath in to reach forward and back. And maybe exhale, hand back down onto the block. Last option, float hands to the heart, or maybe reach both arms forward towards the front of the room. One more inhale, and as you exhale, hands release to the blocks. Release the foot to the floor. Put softness in the knees. And as you inhale, roll to rise or sweep to rise. Come all the way up to standing. And as you exhale, draw hands together in front of the heart. Let's take a soft sigh, breath in. Open the mouth and with the hands at the heart or hands by the sides, let the eyes remain closed. And especially if that wasn't the experience you were hoping for, whether offered or felt, notice what emotions arise. And if we're truly aware, we'll notice that throughout this time together this morning, probably a whole range of emotions have entered and left the heart. So if even this isn't the one you'd pick right now, notice something else is coming. We can allow that to continue if we feel where in the body those emotions manifest physically. Returning to the fullness of our breath as we inhale. Exhale, allow the eyes to softly open. So we'll check our blocks, adjust them if we move them. Feet a fist width distance apart, soft bend into the knees, the belly is strong, hands back, elbows back. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, we begin to hinge forward. As we stop halfway down, hands come down onto the blocks, palms flat, shifting the weight forward so we feel equal pressure, balls and heels of the feet. Notice shoulders over wrists, arms are strong, shoulder blades are back. Put a softness into the knees and then shift the weight into the right foot. As you inhale, extend the left leg back behind. Again, it doesn't have to come super high. We want to notice toes down slightly in and pull the right hip back. We can stay right here. This is perfect as we draw the heart forward. Or we can come up onto finger pads, feel a little more lightness in the torso. Both legs strong. Stay here, or as you inhale, reach the right arm forward, moving so that bicep moves in line with the ear. Feel right hip back, reach through the left heel, breath in. And as you breathe out, right hand releases back down. Both hands again happily planted on the blocks. Or as you inhale, reach the left arm forward as well. Taking an inhale, reach, and as you exhale, hands come back down. Staying here perfect as we draw forward through the crown, through the sternum, or float one hand, both hands to the heart as we reach back through the heel. Maybe both arms are forward. Inhaling, reaching, and then exhaling, hands to the block, foot to the floor. Softness into the knees, let the torso hang. Let's walk the feet wide and take hands to opposite elbows. Give a little bit of a sway. And then back through center, release the bind. Slowly roll to rise, sweep to rise. And as you exhale, hands find the heart. So as we step our feet back together, a fist width distance apart. Now we know the feeling, and really truly when our bodies are aligned, how hard Virabhadrasana 3 is. We're going to move into it in a slightly different way that many of my students say is their favorite because it's easier, but it's harder to stay in alignment. We know what it feels like. We know what we should be doing. So you lucky ducks get to go into it. We all get to go into it in a slightly different manner. So we're going to bring the hands to the hips, keep the right foot where it is. We'll take a giant step back with the left foot and land on the ball of the foot. As we bend deeply into the right knee, we power back through the left heel. Feel right hip back, left hip forward. We've been here before, just moved into it in a slightly different way. From here, we'll inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Then as you exhale, we'll begin to hinge forward, reach the sternum forward, the hands come back behind. Right hip back, left hip forward. So again, this should feel familiar. We did this prior. As you inhale, let's reach the arms high. This time, as you exhale, begin to shift the weight forward, arms sweep back. Right leg begins to straighten as the left foot lifts. Toes still down and in, power back through the arms, or again, hands at the heart. Blocks are there in case we need them. Back through the heel, outer left hip down. Lift from the back of the knee, the back of the thigh. We'll take 3 more inhales and exhales. As you take your third, your final exhale, deep bend into the right knee, giant step back with the left foot. Inhale, the arms go high. As you exhale, hands to the hips and step the left foot up to meet the right. Releasing the arms by the sides, gentle sigh breath in. Open the mouth and again, opportunity at the top of our mat between sides to observe. Observe the mind, observe emotions. And rather than getting connected to any story that emotions might evoke, can we instead notice where we're feeling sensation in the body? Return attention to a full inhale and exhale, aware of sensation but focused on the breath. And we'll maintain that as we move to the second side. So as you exhale, eyes softly open, quick check of the feet, fist width distance apart parallel. Softness in the knees, hands to the hips. Keep the left foot where it is. Giant step back with the right foot as we land on the ball of the foot. And then as we pull the left hip back, right hip will come forward. We can deeply bend into the front knee. If we're a little wonky right here, we're going to widen our stance on the mat. As you inhale, arms reach forward and up. And then as you exhale, dive the heart forward, sweep the hands back behind. Shoulder blades squeeze, arms reach. As you inhale, both arms will sweep high. And then as you exhale, dive the heart, shift the weight forward, right toes float off of the mat. And as we reach back through the heel, feel the left hip pull back, arms reaching back, hands at the heart, or even arms forward. The longer we stay here, the more tendency for that hip to lift. So outer right hip down, inner thigh lifting, left hip back, and we lift from the back of the right knee and thigh. Breath is full, 3 more inhales, 3 more exhales. Using this opportunity to notice the mind, notice emotion. 1 more full breath in. As you exhale, bend into the left knee, giant step back with the right foot. Inhaling, the arms go high. Exhale, hands to the hips, and step right foot up to meet the left. Arms by the sides, eyes closed, gentle sigh breath in, and open the mouth. We're going to move into Uttanasana, or forward fold, taking half Surya Namaskar or rolling down the spine. Both are perfect. If you're moving with half Surya Namaskar, hands at the heart. As you inhale, arms sweep wide. As you exhale, arms sweep wide and down, hips back, heart forward, knees are soft. Hands to the shins, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Bend into the knees enough to bring the hands to the mat. Step the feet back. Come into down dog. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, release the knees to the earth. As the knees come down, knees together and knees wide, we'll press the hips back towards the heels for child's pose. Hands underneath the head, certainly an option, or hands back by the feet, palms face up. Settle here and aware of, again, thoughts and emotions. Interested and curious how things shift and change if we don't get in the way. So 1 more breath in. As you breathe out, hands will come back down to the earth, wrists under shoulders. Inhale, we roll up to seated on the heels. From here, we're going to shift the hips to the side. Make sure we're in the center of our mat. We'll finish up on our backs. If you know that you have some sensitivity in the low back, then right now is a good time to take a rolled blanket or your substitute blanket, maybe beach towel if you have it, and just get it ready. Blocks, always helpful to add extra height. From the center of the mat, hands behind the thighs or arms reaching forward, belly is strong, a slow roll all the way down onto the back. Once we come down, draw the knees in, wrap the arms around the shins, a quick hug, a quick motion, release. And then let's bring the left foot to the floor. Take the right ankle, cross it at the left knee, hard flex of the foot, and just press the right knee forward. If that is enough in your body to find some release in the hip, perfect. If you'd like a little bit more, then let's draw the left thigh in, engaging or interlacing the fingers behind the thigh. If the left foot is lifted, it's engaged as well, out through the heel, through the ball of the foot. We can use the right elbow to press the right knee, right thigh away, and maybe draw the left knee in. Welcome to stay right here. Or again, another option, right hand will come to inner right knee or thigh. As the left leg extends high, left hand can stay on the back of the thigh, drawing it closer to the body. We just want to make sure the sacrum stays on the floor. Or we walk the hand up the back of the leg, maybe taking a yogic toe bind. We want the shoulders to be soft on the floor. So in other words, if we have to lift the shoulders and the head to get this bind, just slide the hand down the leg. And this is active and engaged, pressing the right knee forward, drawing the left thigh in again at the most intense version. Otherwise, left foot is on the floor, knee is bent, and right knee presses forward. After all of that work through the back of the legs and balance, I'm finding a little bit of release around the hips and the low back. And take one more breath in. If the left foot is lifted, as you exhale, let's bring the foot to the floor. As that left foot comes down, we're going to start with the legs in this exact shape. Extend the arms out to the side, shoulder height. We use the left foot to lift and shift the hips a little bit over to the right. Then extend the left leg long. And then the sole of the right foot plants on the thigh or can slide down to the calf. Left hand crosses the body and we roll onto the left hip. Feel the right shoulder plant. Then head turns, eyes close. The breath is full. So certainly there's some level of engagement physically in the body, but for most of us there's more engagement, more tension than needs to be. So see if we can soften the shoulders, the jaw, the muscles of the face. Notice if we can relax the toes. Even the fingers. And as we breathe, right shoulder heavy, right knee heavy. Feeling that twisting sensation, any intensity in the low back, just a gentle engagement of the belly. Feel a shift in the pelvis, a lengthening in the lowest part of the spine. One more breath in. As you breathe out, we'll release the hand from the body. Inhale, head to center, and exhale, settle the pelvis back to the mat. Bending into both knees, we square the hips. A quick hug, knees together or knees wide. A little bit of rock perhaps from side to side. And then as we come back to stillness at center, right foot will find the floor, left ankle crosses over right knee, hard flex of the foot and press the knee forward. This is perfect. We stay here, honoring the two sides of the body. It can be substantially different. If we have the space, Then we draw the right thigh in, interlacing the hands behind the right thigh. Right foot flexes, and then we use the left elbow to press the left knee forward. Left foot stays flexed. Equal pressure, big toe and pinky toe side of the foot. And then as we draw the right thigh in, if we draw the right thigh in, we can continue to press the left knee away. Again, staying here perfect, or we add on. Left hand, inner left knee to continue pressing it away from the body. Left foot stays flexed. Right heel goes high, and then right hand can draw the right thigh in towards the body. Can walk up to the calf, or even take that yogic toe bind. Again, if we have to lift to get that connection, then we'll just let the hand slide down the leg. Want to keep the shoulders soft. And we draw the right thigh towards the body to the degree that that works for us. Left knee moves away. Let's take one more breath in. Reach through right heel if the leg's extended. Press through the left hand. And then as you exhale, we'll release the right foot to the floor if it's not there already. Arms extend out to the side. Again, we'll keep the left ankle where it is for right now. Lift and shift the hips to the left just a couple of inches. Right leg extends long. And then the sole of the left foot comes to the top of the right thigh. Right hand to outer left knee. We draw the knee across the body and then turn the head to the left. Left shoulder planted on the mat, and then the eyes close. Bringing right hand onto the heart or on the belly, a nice option. We don't have to keep it on the leg. And feel the breath move. Left leg, left shoulder heavy. Feeling that twisting sensation again. Want to make sure it's not occurring in the low back, so any intensity there and engagement of the belly. Feel a shift in the shape of the pelvis. One more deep breath in. As you breathe out, hand releases. Inhale, head to center. And exhale, knee up towards the ceiling. When the pelvis settles, knees bend, shift back to the center. Let's draw both knees in, and then your choice here, knees together, knees wide. One last stretch for the backs of the legs. Hands can come to the backs of the thighs. And wherever we are, whether the knees are bent and wide, whether the knees are together, let's just roll the ankles, point and flex the foot. And then from here, we'll bring the feet to the floor, blanket underneath the knees, blanket and blocks underneath the knees. We'll extend the legs long towards the front of the mat. And as the head releases, make sure the shoulders are soft, legs are released, and then hands by the sides, or right hand at the belly, left hand at the heart. As the eyes softly close, quick scan of the physical body. Make sure that the low back is lengthening, the cervical spine is lengthening, lifting and adjusting as needed. And then once the physical body is relatively comfortable in preparation for Shavasana, just a quick honoring of the emotional body. Noticing what we feel, where it manifests in the physical body. And if it's not an emotion that we would consciously invite into our experience, that's okay. Through our practice, we feel that sensation and bring attention to the breath. Get out of the thinking mind. Whole purpose of our practice, stilling the fluctuations of the mind, so we do that with movement of breath. To help to find a little more peace, a little more ease, a little more quiet. As we settle, we rest, we receive. Shavasana. Always welcome to stay longer in Shavasana, taking the time that you need. However, if you're ready to close class with me, begin to bring your attention back to the breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall, the belly, the ribs, and the chest as you inhale. And then feel the chest, the ribs, the belly fall as you exhale. As you're ready, begin to find some gentle movement of fingers and toes, a little wiggling, a little stretching. Allowing wrists and ankles to round, head can rock from side to side. Begin to move and stretch into the body in a way that works for you this morning. Perhaps extending arms overhead, reaching to the space behind you as you reach toes forward to the space in front of you. And then draw the knees in, wrap the arms around the shins. Give yourself a very, very much deserved hug. And then roll to the right side, just pausing for a moment in a fetal position. Taking this time in true gratitude and appreciation for the time that you take for your practice. Certainly the opportunity to move and shift energy, feeling in the physical body. More importantly, the time you take to move and shift feeling and energy, the mental, the emotional bodies as well. And then as the palms come to the earth, we'll gently press ourselves up and around, moving to find an easy, a comfortable way to sit. Height in the form of a block underneath the sits bones, always an option. And then from this upright shape, let's bring hands together in front of the heart. Let the eyes softly close. One final time, the Zen quote, "The heart collects a lot of feelings. Sadness, happiness, worry, jealousy, pain, love, fear, excitement. When you keep an open heart, all of those feelings are able to come and go. Nothing will be trapped inside." With hands together in front of the heart, we'll end with a soft sound of Om breath in. It's been an honor, it's been a privilege to guide you through your practice today. As you're ready, the eyes softly open. Namaste.